a rainy morning in the neighborhood. A gentle, a gentle rain falling. Not sure how gentle it is, what's coming down with the rain. Who knows what's coming down with the rain? I'm going to just have a very brief add-on to the illusion of learning. I listened to what I was saying, and I wanted to tweak it a little bit because I realized in some way, hey, maybe I was learning from my own video. I wanted to tweak something, the illusion of learning, that as long as we feel we're learning something in this world, we're stuck in it. And we are who we are from beginning to end, is what I said. And what I realized when I was listening to it, I referred to conscience, and I might call this learning and the conscience. The conscience, something that exists within us from beginning to end. We become more aware of it. And people may say, as we become more aware of it because of the experiences we have and the choices we make, yeah, you can say that. There is a version of learning. But here's the conclusion I had when I was thinking about how this idea of learning may fit in to how we evolve, develop. Obviously, evolving suggests a kind of learning, possibly. Or is it just something that happens that brings us closer to who we are? Every experience brings us closer to who we are, and you can make an argument, I suppose, that that is a form of learning, but I still maintain that we are who we are from the beginning to the end. And here's my concession I will make, that the learning aspect is really about tweaking conscience. So when I was talking about going through from whenever we're born to this experience, this worldly experience, what I'm aware of in myself is, I'll call it tweaking my conscience. So I refer to conscience existing within everyone in the sense of being in the rightness of something. So when we do something that doesn't feel right and we excuse it away, it's going against that essential aspect in ourselves that knows. You see, knowing is not learning. Knowing is something that exists. And then becoming aware of that inner part within us, of that inner knowing in terms of the rightness of something, is actually what is, if you want to call that learning, go ahead, but I don't think it's learning. I think it's just being able to accept who we are and living that being. Of course, the experiences, the worldly expression of conscience will manifest itself in the rightness of something, meaning that, and the rightness, interestingly, well, like when you think about it, there is, I'll put some value on this. There is a kind of goodness in it. There is a generosity. You know, the things that we hold in high esteem, no matter who you are, you want to benefit from in the sense of being in the rightness of something. It's not like horrible, miserable, torture, mayhem, all that kind of stuff. No, there is a sweet gentleness to the rightness of something. So it's okay. So I'm just sort of clarifying this because it's a very easy kind of conclusion to come to, that yes, this world offers us what it is that we need in order to become a better person. But I'm saying it's an entirely inner process. You could be by yourself on a rock in darkness, whatever. This Without the world teaching us anything, this is something we learn of ourselves. It comes from within. As the rabbi said, the Rabbi Jesus said, the kingdom of heaven is within, meaning that there is an essence within each of us that is inseparable. It's like part of. It's like you don't see it as an individual separation of anything. It's just part of something. This is what I'm attempting to articulate in terms of conscience, that it tethers us to the oneness. So that's what I would, I would tweak in that the illusion of learning, that we, I suppose I'll admit there is an evolving, because I've experienced this in myself, not being in the rightness of things, ultimately because I'm not a psychopath. I know I'm not a psychopath. I have issues. I have neuroses in the sense of, having done the wrong things and excused myself for having done it, but I can't do that anymore. At least it's a lot more difficult to excuse the things that don't feel right. And it's not what the world teaches me, it is what comes from within. I hope that clarifies some of it, because this is a major issue for a lot of people, especially the truth community, which is really focused on establishing an absolute of some kind, and always looking into the external part of ourselves, the world out there. And it's a curious feeling to realize, ultimately, to come to this sense. I think everybody has it, but because we're of this world, we always want to relate that feeling to the world we exist in. But the true world we exist in is an inner world. This sort of explains to me as well, in certain ways, how people that go through extreme experiences, let's say you're, the archetypal thing is that World War II camps, people existing and dying. And the curious thing for me is the ones that came through and survived and were really magnificent human beings in that experience. It's literally, they had an inner world that survived all the external tortures and enormous difficulties that we encounter, unimaginable. I mean, we're privileged in the way we live nowadays. I'm making this video and a lot of people listening to it, and you have your difficulties, I have my difficulties, but there is a kind of sense of living within, being, existing in an inner world, apart from all the things that are happening around us. I'm developing a better insight. I can feel it in myself around all this, with the help of, I'm being tweaked by certain people. Like I said, McCoskey tweaks aspects of this. Very helpful, very helpful. And my cat tweaks it as well. My cat has been able to influence me in my understanding of the inner world. Anyway, I'll pursue this, and if I need more clarification, which I most likely will, it'll probably need clarification until the very end, as long as I'm here. I guess, I don't know. If it doesn't, I'll let you know. So anyway, YouTube friends, good bye.